what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Snapping with Bufarete, guys. And today we are gonna be talking about the two new cards. How do they do? What do they do? When can you get them? What deck can you play them in? And which locations are the best, guys? So in case you are living under a rock, tomorrow by the time you watch this video, Marvel Snap just released two new cards very casually in the middle of their winter event. So if you scroll down here, first of all, cool rewards, guys. Make sure you get your Nick Fury autographed by Samuel L. Jackson. So, I mean, cool, I guess. Better than nothing. Also, if you don't have Nick Fury, that would technically unlock him for you. Free credits, free gold, free boosters. Why not? But anyway, guys, right after that, they were just fired. Like, they were just shooting fire here, right? There's the 5 new skins that you can unlock also. Rogue, Ebony, Rock Slide, Patriot, and I think they're missing one, the monster. Come on, where is it? It's coming. No? Okay, it's fine. We'll find it later. And then here, guys, they release two new cards. The first one is going to be called Sentry, a superhero whose greatest enemy is himself. It's going to cost 4. It's going to have 8 power, and what it does is basically it cannot be played on the right because it has an unreveal effect that when it reveals the location to the right, he's going to put a -8 void to the right location. So I like to think of him like a negative Hood, right? If you know Hood, when you put Hood, it's -2, and then when you destroy Hood, you get the 1 energy for 6 demon. This is kind of like the opposite of that. You get him first, right? You get Sentry for 4, 8 power, and then on the right, he's gonna do the demon, right? Which you can later destroy. If the location is full, then it will not spawn. I don't know how I feel about that. Both cards are pool 5, so if you thought you were gonna be getting them, good luck. You can technically get them in the game if you get like random, like you get 10 random cards in your hand, or if you play Agent 13 and you can draw a random card. Like, they're available already, and I've seen people that have purchased them for 6,000 collector credits, so they're in the game right now. Just, you know, good luck getting them. And then the second one, it's gonna be right here, DARKHAWK, which out of the two, it's the one that I like the most. 4 cost, 1 power, plus 2 power for every card that your opponent has on their deck, not on their hand, not on their I don't know, that's it, it's hand or deck. Not on their discard pile, I guess. That would have been another option. So only whatever they have on the deck. So which means that say bye-bye to Cable, say bye-bye to Mantis, say bye-bye to any card that you basically make your opponent either draw or discard cards from their deck, because that's not gonna help you out. So today I want to go over some of the things. This is the full card right here. It says it has variant art, but I guess they release all at once. And then this is the other one here, DARKHAWK, which again you can unlock today. So a few things I want to talk about those two cards, and I'm gonna start with Sentry. First of all, I don't know how I feel. First impressions, right? I'm gonna say good cards that you can play with Sentry. It's obviously gonna be Carnage, right? It's gonna be a great addition to any destruction deck because Carnage can eat basically the void that it creates. Carnage, not Venom. Venom synergy, terrible, because Venom will actually get the -8 versus Carnage would get the +2, so that's a good one. Deathlock, another good one. You put him there, you get the 4 for 8, and then you can put Deathlock on the right lane and completely destroy it. You can do 0 too, right? 0 is 1 elixir for 3, and it negates the effect of the next card you play. So technically at the end of turn 3, you can put 0, and then Sentry can come in as a 4/8, nice and clear. Viper, another amazing addition, which I think it's gonna be what this card is going to be played, right? A lot of times you get hit with a Hobgoblin, you get hit with a Green Goblin, then you got to suck it up. There's nothing you can do. If you have Viper, you can counter that, but at the same time, if you have Viper, you can send the void back to your, well, not back, you can send the void to your opponent. So maybe a reason to have Viper on your deck. I guess you can also do Beast. Beast returns all the cards to your hand, so you can do Beast on the void and then never played it. I don't know. I'll try that, but if you're already running a Beast deck and you were looking for like a strong 4 elixir, 4 energy cards, sorry, this could be that. And then also Cosmo, right? It's an unreveal location, so if you play it on a location where you have a Cosmo, it's gonna negate the effect and it's also gonna work out. Now, as far as negative synergies, I don't think there's too many negative synergies other than, you know, don't do a Venom on the Void, because that's not gonna work. That's gonna give you something bad. As far as locations, and I have some really good locations for Sentry and some meh locations, right? Something like Asgard might be good, because Asgard, after turn 4, whoever's winning win the location, right? There's not a lot of cards that are 4 energy that are better than 8, so you can use it there just to win that location, but not positive synergies, mostly just to close on that location. Now, I have this as soft synergies because there's gonna be a lot of luck involved in this, and I don't think it's gonna happen, right? But there's 3 locations that I absolutely love that are on turn 3, right? So you would either have to have played a Psylocke, or you would have to have like something like Elysium, which makes card cost 1 less, or Project Phoenix that you get +5. Like, there's a few caveats for this to work, right? But Gamma Labs, right? What happens if you get that Void onto the right and you put it on the Gamma Lab, and next thing you know, you transform something that was pretty much worthless into a freaking Hulk? That'd be pretty nice, right? The same thing with Murder World. Murder World destroys both cards on that lane for the person that has like after turn 3. So the same thing, if you manage to get him before level 3, before turn 3, and you get him into to the left of a Murder World, it can work. And then the last one is Oscorp Tower. Again, big caveat here. A lot of things have to go well for that to work. But if you put him to the left of an Oscorp Tower and you're able to summon that Void and send it to your opponent, they're not going to be expecting it. They're not going to be happy. Something is, Hala is another good location for this card. After turn 4, destroy all the cards controlled by the person that's losing. So again, if you are keeping it secret, right, you may put 1 or 2 cards in there and then they're not expecting it. You can also bring Sentry in it as the fourth batter and try to hit that home run right there. The other one is Kiln. Kiln right here, it's the one that you cannot play cards after turn 4, so the same thing, right? Maybe you don't play anything in it, or maybe you play a few cards. For 8, it's gonna be an absolute heavy hitter for that location. So, you know, you can get them distracted and just ram it in there. Bard with no name, the same. If Bard with no name is in either 2nd or 3rd location, you can always put Sentry 1st or 2nd and get that Void on one of those 2, right? Get it right under Bard with no name, and then hopefully win that with a -8 Void. And the last one that I think he's gonna be great is if you ever get TVA that you only have 4 turns. Having 4 turns and having a 4/8, it's gonna win you that location no matter what, right? So you only need 2 locations for win. You're gonna have to give up one of the other locations and just try to go for the 2 there for the win. Those are some of the best locations I think Sentry's gonna have. But again, I don't know. So guys, as far as the first deck, right, say I get Sentry today that I would try, it would be this deck right here, right? I would get Squirrel Girl / Angel. You can play any of those 2 really. And then I would get Nova, Bucky, Carnage, Wolverine, Venom, Killmonger, Sabretooth, Deathlock, Death. And then I would either have to get their Hood. I think Hood would be an okay card, and then I would go ahead and add obviously Sentry, right? So I have a lot of options there. I got 2 cards that I have to destroy, which is gonna be a Hood, and then it's gonna be the Void. So if you can put both of those in the same location, then you can Carnage them, both of them, and get rid of both of them, or use Deathlock for both of them and get rid of them for the same price. So that would be my #1 idea of deck that I would play that, or unless I was already playing a different Viper deck. But I think this Destroy deck, it's probably going to be the strongest deck to put your Sentry in if you're just giving it a whirl and just trying to give it a try. I think later on more decks will develop, and I mean, you know, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe he would be good on any other deck. If you know, there's not a lot of grade 4 energy cards that you can have there, that if you're looking for a beat stick, right? Something that's just gonna be strong nothing. Because if you think about it, right, you got the Thing, which is 4/6, like no strings attached. Other than that, Namor and Warpath are big beat sticks, but they have conditions, right? And then Jessica Jones is another 4/8, but you cannot play cards there on that location after, which I don't see as a drawback. So I see, is Sentry a better Jessica Jones? Depends. I think on destruction decks, yes, because you're looking for more fodder to destroy. On a regular deck, probably won't. Another deck that I think perhaps a Sentry can work on, it's going to be on this control deck right now. right? You're gonna have Watu the Watcher, you're gonna have Yondu, Ebony Maw, Black Widow, Goose, Viper, Green Goblin, Jubilee, Hobgoblin, Leech, America Chavez, and then Sentry there. And the idea there is, right, you have the Viper to always send it back, but then you have Sentry as like the fourth batter, right? If you can get it for free with Jubilee, that'd be great. But if not, it's just a great card there. You have Viper always to send it back. You got Black Widow to control the board. You got both of the Goblins to also block some of the spots. And I think that if you manage, I'm gonna make a prediction right now. If you manage to, first of all, take the Black Widow wrist and throw it at someone, then you do the Green Goblin, then on top of that, you do the Void and you do the Hobgoblin, there's no way this person is not going to quit the game. First of all, you took 4 out of their possible 12 slots. That is a lot. That is a lot, right? It's going to be extremely frustrating unless they got a Viper on their own or an Odin. Although Odin wouldn't work with the Void, it would only work with the Goblins. So I think this control deck may also be another one that it would be a good addition to, but I think it's a little bit on the gimmicky side. So, you know, if you're looking for consistency rather than gimmick, I'll probably stick with the Destroy deck. And now we're going to go to the second card here, which I think it's going to be my absolute favorite of the two. I think Darkhawk, it's a lot stronger than Sentry. Why? They cost the same, but Darkhawk, it is going to be an absolute beast the second you put him in, right? Obviously, I guess you can put him in turn 1 if you get the card that just Sakar, that pulls 1 card from your hand and puts it down. Technically, right, if you put him on turn 1, he's gonna have 17 power, right? Because decks are 12 cards. On turn first, on your first turn, you're gonna draw 1 card. So both of you and your opponent, right? So technically, you're gonna have 8 cards left. So 16 plus 1, he's gonna be 17. Then turn 2, he's gonna go 15. Then 13, 11, 9, and on the last turn, he's gonna be 7, which is not great. And that is assuming, right? And you know what happens when you assume, so don't assume. If you don't know, let me know in the comments and I'll let you know. But again, he's gonna be great at the beginning. He's not gonna be great at the end game, but we can save that, right? A few cards that are gonna play good with Darkhawk is gonna be something like Black Widow. When you put Black Widow down, she throws her wrist at your opponent and basically they don't draw, they skip 1 draw phase. So that's gonna give +2 for Darkhawk for the rest of that game. Something like Venom, it's also gonna be an absolute great synergy with this card. You manage to put this as early as possible and then you feed it to Venom. You're gonna capitalize on that like absolute crazy. And then something like my dear friend Mr. Cork, right? You put Cork down, you put 1 extra rock. That extra rock usually is worthless, and now it's gonna give you +2 power to Darkhawk. Cards that you don't want to play if you're running Darkhawk, right? Obviously, you don't want to do Mantis. Why? You don't want to draw from your opponent deck. On the same vein, you don't want to do Yondu. You don't want to destroy 1 card from his deck. You don't want to do Cable because you draw 1 card from his deck. You don't want to do Baron Mordo. Why? Because you don't want your opponent to draw extra card. And the last one's going to be Maximus, similar to Baron Mordo. Instead of drawing 1, it will draw 2. So leave your opponent's deck intact. Please don't touch your opponent's deck. You shouldn't be touching anybody else's deck. Just touch your deck. Okay, that's a good life advice too. Make sure you take it home. Now, as far as locations that I think Darkhawk's gonna be great, Asgard, the same. If you're looking for a heavy hitter, he's gonna be really great. Why? Because on turn 4, he's still gonna be 11, right? 4 for 11. It's pretty good, right? So if you need locations like that, that's gonna be great. Another location that I think he's gonna be great is gonna be Atelian. After 3 turns, shuffle your hand onto your deck and draw 3 cards, right? Why? If your opponent is running a really heavy deck and he has like 4 cards on his deck, now he's gonna put all 4 on the deck and then he's gonna only grab 3, making his deck again going up, which is gonna make his power again go up. So if you can get like an Atelian later in the game and your opponent doesn't have a lot of 1 and 2 or 3 energy cards, it's ultimately gonna be benefit for you. Something else, District X, right? Because it resets the deck. Every time District X comes, you're gonna replace both decks with 10 random cards, right? So say District X, it's like the 3rd location. Now you already draw 2 cards out of your deck, right? So you already had your deck at what? At 8, 12, minus 2, well, -3 because you draw again. Then it was gonna be you were gonna have 7 cards left. Now you have 10 again, so it gives us +6 energy. I think another one, it's another great one. Elysium also, right? But Elysium is good for both of the cards. They cost 1 less. The earlier you can get Darkhawk down, the more power he's gonna have. So that's kind of like a soft synergy, not a great synergy. Hala, the same thing I said before. He's gonna be an amazing card to bring on turn 4 and completely best your opponent and destroy their cards. Clintard with Venom, right? If you manage to put this card down on Clintard and transforming into a Venom, not a Venom, a Venom, whatever, the black creature, great, because then he's not gonna keep going down and down and down. So the sooner you can get him in that location, the biggest his power it's gonna be. Then I got Lechugula, which nobody likes Lechugula, right? Except if you have Darkhawk, right? If you have Darkhawk, you're pretty much begging your opponent to play a card there, so he'll draw 3 cards onto his deck and make your Darkhawk +6 sweet baby G powers. That's gonna be great. And then Subterranea. I hate Subterranea. Every time I see Subterranea, I freaking cringe because how much I hate Subterranea. But you see Subterranea coming in, right? And it's gonna give this power +10 power because it's gonna add 5 rocks to your deck. So technically, I don't know how this would work. This can work, right? Because if Subterranea is the first location, you would have to technically play Darkhawk second turn if you play something like Sakar. So if you have RNG God on your side, you can technically play this card down at 25 power. But anyway, even if you draw and you play the game through, he's gonna be 17 power on turn 6 after your opponent has drawn all 6 cards. Really great. Cards that TVA also same reasons as Sentry, right? If you get TVA and you play them on the 4th turn, guys, 4 energy for 11 power, incredibly powerful. Now, locations that don't work with Darkhawk, you're gonna have something like Asgard if you lose, because if you lose on Asgard, they're gonna draw 2 cards, making him -4, so that definitely doesn't work. Lamentis -1 could possibly be one of the worst. There's no deck, there's no boost. So 4-1 if you get Lamentis -1. So again, Lamentis -1, don't play Darkhawk. Hell's Kitchen. Also another one that's not gonna be great one because you draw 1 cost card from your deck. -2, right? Every time you draw, -2, -2, -2. So nothing drawing. Limbo, the same thing. If you go on turn 7, dang, at that point he's gonna be really weak because at a turn 7 he would technically be 5. 4 for 5 is definitely nothing good. Then you get Nova Roma, which Nova Roma, you draw a card, obviously, obvious reasons, -2. And then the absolute worst would be Olympia, which we would discard 2 cards, which would technically make this card an astonishing -4 just for getting a bad location. Now guys, as which deck I would use with Darkhawk, right? The second I want, obviously you're gonna think back Black Widow there. Why? Because you don't want them to draw cards, right? So if you can get a Black Widow down and you can make sure that they skip 1 draw phase, that's just gonna make your deck, it's gonna make your Darkhawk a lot stronger, right? You want to do Iceman. Why? You want them to delay playing cards down because the sooner you can get their hand full, the harder it's gonna be for them to play. You want to play something like Angela, just power her up with really cheap cards. Then you have Beast, and the good thing about Beast is only 2, and you can play Beast down and you can get Black Widow 1 back into your hand. You want to do something like Scorpio, right? If he has a card that it's pretty weak, you don't want him to play it back. And now, even though Baron Mordo, it's a card that technically it's gonna make him a little bit weaker because it's gonna make him draw a card. No one's gonna play a card like, say you play Baron Mordo and you make them draw like a 1, 2, 3 energy card and now it's 6. They're not gonna play that, right? So they're gonna keep it on their hand. You know what? You play Black Widow, you play Baron Mordo, and then you throw a Beast on top of that on turn 3. They're not gonna be very happy about it, right? Turn 4, sorry. They're not gonna be very happy about it. Then you go and play the 2 cards again, and now they have a completely full hand on turn 4 or 5, and they cannot play anything else. You have Wave, you have Maximus there, you have Darkhawk, Wong, Absorbing Man, and Doctor Doom for a little bit of a heavy combo deck, but also it's gonna make him have a handful, and it's not gonna let him play cards down, which ultimately is gonna result in you winning the game potentially, right? You have some really strong cards there, really strong combos, especially at the end. If you get either Wong, Absorbing Man, and then you play a Doctor Doom, you're gonna feel that complete board. But also you have a Wong combined there with cards that make them draw. You're just gonna feel their hand, they're not gonna draw, and then you're gonna have that power forever. If you're feeling extra naughty, I guess you can always replay the Angela for a Venom, but that is very circumstantial, but also it's Angela, so I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. But the idea with that is that once you have him down, you absorb his power and then you don't have to worry about him going down. But again, with this deck, the main idea is have your opponent's hand like full, so then they cannot play any more cards. I guess you can also combine it with something like a Sandman, and at the same time I guess you can do a Ronin, because I'm thinking this through, right? You have their hand full and then you do a Sandman so they can only play one card. Next thing you know, their cards are a lot more expensive, and then you could end him up with a Ronin. That might also be the play of the game, guys, because then you would have two really strong cards there, and then you can 100% dominate them. So anyway, guys, those are the brand new 2 cards that they added to the game yesterday. Again, you can have them on you'll have them on your vendor. You'll see them randomly if you get an Agent 13 or if you get something like a District X or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. If I had to choose, I would go with Darkhawk. I just feel like it would play so much better in every deck that I would play. But also, if I got Sentry, I would not be mad, especially if I unlocked it for free, and I would definitely put him on a Destruction deck and try to get Carnage and Deathlock to take care of the Void. Maybe just to add a Viper too and add some memes to it. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for this episode right now. Tell me, which decks are you gonna play these cards when you unlock them? Are you looking forward to any of them? Is there any? I mean, this guy looks pretty good, right? Like I would hang out with him. Like, that's how it looked, by the way, without the hoodie, just like Sentry. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for this episode right now. Let me know, what decks are you gonna be playing Darkhawk and Sentry once you unlock them, once you have them. I hope everyone's having a fantastic time, a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all later, guys. Bye.